Welcome back to another video. Tonight we're going to talk about all things Man United plus Newcastle news as well with John and Maisy Shaw. But Nikki is going to replace us her.
I had to come to London because I couldn't find a job, but I don't intend to stay long if I make a few quick buck. It's cold up there in summer, it's like sitting inside a fridge, but I wish I was on the quayside looking at the old town bridge. I'm coming home, Newcastle, I might as well have been in jail. I'd walk the streets all day, I'll need for a bottle of your own brown ale. I'm coming home, Newcastle, if you never win the club again. I'll brave the dark at St James's Park if the Gallagher end in the rain. I'm coming home. And I'm proud to be a Geordie.
Hi, good evening. Welcome back to another video. John Sinclair TV back again. And tonight I've got the massive super fan, Man United supporter, Nikki. How are we doing it, Nick?
I'm all right. I'm not too bad. It's great to be on finally, John.
Yep, absolutely. I know that could have been tomorrow night, but I thought we'd get it on for tonight because the reason being is because I got a washing on to do tomorrow night between Burnley and Everton, but that's for another day. So I'm going to be busy on that tomorrow. So we're going to talk about you as a fan before you go on to the main things. That's right. Yep. If you told a few of us on my channel what made you become a United fan, how long have you been a United fan, and also what's been your best moments?
Well, I've been a United fan all my life. So all of my family are Blues. My dad used to work at Old Trafford and at Main Road. So I think we just split down the middle and I became a United fan. My sister was also a United fan until she got a bit older, and I think partners that she got with, they ended up being City fans. So she just changed. I've just always supported United. I think I enjoyed the 90s the most. I think just seeing some of those youth players coming through. Best moments. There's been so many. Winning the Champions League, doing the treble. I mean, that's probably the highlight for me. You know, watching the parade, getting stuck in Manchester down the side streets because you can't get close enough. It just incredible. You know, York and Cole together, they're my favourite strikers up front. It was just brilliant. It's everything that you want as a fan, isn't it? To win the Champions League, Premier League, FA Cups. I mean, we've won it all, and it's been magnificent along the way. Unfortunately, we're not at that position at the moment, but you know, we'll get back there. There. I've got every faith.
Absolutely. End of the day, let's hope Newcastle United join you as well. Let's hope Newcastle and Man U fight out for the league title in a few seasons' time. You just never know. That's what we want to see. Well, can you imagine that two teams, richest club in the world and the biggest club in the world, fighting out for the league title in the years to come? That'd be amazing.
Do you think that's possible, John? Do you think it's possible with Newcastle?
I'll tell you what, we need to change. You need to spend big in the summer because half of those players are not good enough. I'd get rid of 10 players for me. But the problem is, like I said on my earlier channel, on the fans forum, it's going to be so hard to get rid of those players on high wages as well, right? They might say, you know what, I'm just going to stay here and just see out my wage, see out my contract with huge wages because I'm not going to get anywhere else. Do you know what I mean? And that really, really upsets. It's just going to upset other fans coming in. And it just drains out the sources as well. So I know that I just get a moot sort of thing. But we're coming to Newcastle later on, and we could talk about ASM as well again, and whether you stay up or not. But we're going to talk about things happening at Old Trafford. You got Bruno Fernandes has signed a new 4-year contract. I think he defies opinions, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but first of all, does he deserve a 4-year contract? And secondly, is he good for the team? For me, I say he's good. I think he's brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm a bit divided on whether he deserved a 4-year contract, just based on his form this season. I mean, he started out fantastic, but he's had a bit of a dip. I think he's a fantastic player. I think he brings a lot to the squad. He's got that passion. he's started to become a little bit moany at the moment for me. You know, he's arguing about every decision, and you know, he's constantly shouting at the referee and other players, which I don't mind, because I think it's really good that, you know, players are getting on to other players. But there's just a little bit too much moaning for me. I like to see players play to the whistle, and then, you know, you might have a bit of toing and froing with the ref or another player, and then that's it. But he seems to carry it on just a little bit longer than I'd like, if I'm being honest. I probably would have given him a two-year contract, just because with a new manager coming in, who'll probably get a 2-year deal. I think that's what they're looking at the moment, is a 2-year deal for any manager. I think Ten Hag said that he wants a minimum of 2 years to build. So I probably wouldn't have given him 4 years. Probably would have given him 2. But I do think he's great for the squad. But he's a bit of a hit and miss player for me. You know, he has fantastic games and then he has awful games. There doesn't seem to be that in the middle consistency. But you know, he'll get back. I'm sure he will. I think we just he needs to find his position, and he needs to just be selected for that position. There's a lot of messing about within the squad at the moment, and it doesn't make it easy. I know they get paid a lot of money. I know that the footballers, and they should be able to move positions. I get that. But I also think there needs to be some consistency in where you're playing, just for your own mental well-being, so you know exactly what you're supposed to be doing and when you're supposed to be doing it.
Yeah, I have to agree. And also against big teams, right? It doesn't, in my opinion, he doesn't show up in big games. He does in the big games, and that is frustrated. For a talented guy like Bruno Fernandes, right? He's got to show up in the big games. I follow his career because I love Italian football. He played for 3 Italian clubs, Novara. Then he moved on to Udinese. He spent 3 years at Udinese. Then he moved to Sampdoria for a season before coming to Swan Lisbon. And then he went to United. But one thing I will say, he needs to show up in the big games. That's the only thing I've got to say about him. That's my opinion. So I don't know what you think of it.
Yeah, I think some of that is to do with the confidence within the team at the moment. I think that none of the players really show up for some of those big games. They used to be the games that got the players going, you know, your likes of Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs, you know, all your traditional top 6 teams. They used to really show up for those because it was about fighting for that top 4 position. But I think that they just don't seem to show up for those big games. I mean, we've been absolutely hammered this season by those big clubs. I mean, we beat Spurs, but I wouldn't class them as a big club anymore. You know, I just think that there's a lot wrong in the squad, in the team, and I don't think it's all on one particular player in general. I do have to say though that Fernandes, his attitude slightly changed now Ronaldo's there, so he's a little bit more moaner than he was at the start of the season and at the end of last season. He's become a little bit more moaner, and I don't know whether that's pressure. I know they played together for Portugal, but whether there's a little bit of that club pressure on him, because you know we saw them as the Portuguese duo, and you know there was an expectation that they'd link up really well together, and I don't necessarily think that that's happened a lot this season. So I think some of it's a bit of the mentality for them.
Yeah, have to agree there. Have to agree. He needs to just stop moaning, get on with the game, start scoring goals, start creating stuff, and win games for the team. I got some comments there, by the way. I mean, Jetstar, just off the topic. Yes, John, big up to you, my guy. Girls great example with few clubs willing to pay the wage who are in the championship. You know what? He not play for Newcastle, in my opinion. I mean, Jason loves him, by the way. Big up to Luke, by the way. Hope you guys a big gooner. Arsenal fan as well, and he's saying that Fernandes signed a 4-year deal. It's way too much. That's a Luca.
Yeah, I have to agree. Yeah, I have to agree with that.
All right, I like Luca. He comes to me channel as well. He tells it straight, by the way, for a young lad. And that's all. Now I've got a United fan here. Big up to Niall again, and I hope you're okay. And he even said hi to you as well, Nick.
Hey.
And he's a great guy. He looks after us. One of my mods as well, by the way, him and Maisy, who also supports United.
Yeah.
So big up to Brad. It's just when we chant for the fan forum. Big up to Brad. Are you okay? He's a great guy. Constantly watch alongs as well. And, you know, often come we watch along, but he said that you come back after games. That's fair enough. So, yeah. So on to Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, when he came back for the second time, I think everyone was excited to see him back.
Yeah, they were. I think it was a little bit of a Glazers stunt, if I'm being honest. I think that there was a lot of Glazers out stuff happening. Obviously, the protest had happened. I think it was a stunt by them to get the fans on side a little bit. There's been a couple of people that have said, Ronaldo's come back to win things. I'm not entirely sure that's true, because if he's been watching anything about United in the past couple of years, he must have known that wasn't going to happen. So he either came back because he thought he was the person to do it, which would take a massive ego, and I don't quite think he's that egotistical. I think he's got a big ego, but he's won everything, so why would you not? If you one of the greats, you would have a big ego. I don't know, I'm a bit divided. I don't particularly think that he's had a great season for us. Yes, he's banged in, I think, is it 12 league goals or something like that.
Yeah.
But what Ronaldo does is, if you've ever noticed our squad, our main up front guys, the goals seem to be spread amongst them. So we don't necessarily have, a Kane and a Son, and it's just between them two. We generally tend to spread it out within our squad. So if you look at some of the other traditional goal scorers that we've had prior to Ronaldo coming, they've got less goals because Ronaldo's kind of, I wouldn't say snatched them, because you don't snatch them, but he's kept the ball for himself, and he's gone and he's gone on to score those goals. So, people say, we wouldn't have won the games that we've won without Ronaldo because he's got last minute goals. Well, actually, we might not have needed those last minute goals. We could have had the goals. We could have had the game already sealed in the bag. I don't think you can look at it in hindsight like that, to be honest.
Yeah. I think he's done all right, Ronaldo, in my opinion. So without him, I just don't know where United's going to be without his scores, and that is the thing. And like you said, he just said there as well, it's a bit of a Glazer stunt just to keep the fans happy, right? Just to keep the fans quiet and to say, come back, he's coming home, and that sort of thing. And the fans kind of fall for it. But that's a fair shout. So he must have known that they haven't won now. They haven't won the league since 2013, right? And for me, that's a hell of a long time. That's a hell of a long time not to win the league title. Do you know what I mean? Because you're the biggest club in the world. And I'm not going to get slated for that, but you're the biggest club in the world. I say Man U, Real Madrid, Barcelona, right? Bayern Munich, Man City, Liverpool, Juve in that order for me. But hey ho. But I'm sure whoever comes in the summer, he needs to sort themselves out. Because in my opinion, Nick, the next match you're going to get in, the Glazers got to get this one right. They have got to get this one right.
It's going to be a difficult task. Again, the Ronaldo signing, it was a puppet show for the Glazers. Everybody went out and bought shirts with his name on it. So, the amount of money that they made from that and actually made the fans happy. And obviously, Ronaldo started off and he was scoring those last-minute goals for us, those little chip-ins, and it was great. And you could kind of accept that. But I think to not finish top four for Man United, Ronaldo's not going to want to play in the Europa League or even the Europa Conference, if that's I'd kind of rather know European football than have those two. I want to be in the Champions League because it's not good enough for a side like us. And I'm not saying that because, I think that we're fantastic and we should just dominate. But you just said it yourself. We've not won a league title since 2013. That is a hell of a long time for a club that's dominated for so long to just completely drop off the map. It's inexcusable, really, and it should have been nipped in the bud right at the beginning. But we've just gone through manager, and Ollie steadied the ship a little bit, and the players seem to really gel to him and warm to him. But he only took it as far as he could. And then there's a level of, you've got to get tough with them now. You've got to really start managing and not managing mental health, actually managing the squad that you've got. So I don't know. I struggle. I don't know who we're going to get in that could. I mean, to be fair, I thought that Ragnick was going to be the one that does it for us. He's got such a good record. He's all about the Gegenpress. He's worked with the likes of Tuchel and Pep. They've all sung his praises, and and really it's been a bit of a flop since he's come.
I have to agree. But in my opinion, they should have kept under Ole. In my opinion, kept him until the end of the season. But if they didn't want him, why did they not sack him at the end of the season? Do you know what I mean? Get someone in, get someone fresh, and then because the club like Man United should not be having interim managers there, Nick. I've got to be real, because at the end of the day, right, you look at Europeans, right? If, say, Juve sacked Allegri, they get replacement in straight away. If they sacked Ancelotti at Real Madrid, or if they sacked Xavi at Barca, right, they get replacement in straight away. It seems to us like in England, right, they sack a manager, they get interim manager coming in, and it takes months and months and months to get a manager in. It happened to Newcastle. We sacked Bruce, right? We shouldn't even be there at the end of the season, I'm sorry, but it took us about a month, 6 weeks to get Eddie Howe in. Do you know what I mean? But it's just doing due diligence, yeah? But only warned us, we'll learn from that. And if you're going to get a manager coming in, then you have to get someone coming in before you sack that manager. But I think United's done it all wrong. Do you know what I mean? They should have kept it Ole. I mean, I think, in my opinion, I think Ole was the fall guy for United. He was the fall guy. And the way some of those players have, they're just taken the wholesale mick under Ole. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what you make of it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that, like I say, I think he steadied the ship after Mourinho. I think that was something that the club needed, the players needed. They needed that nurturing. I think that if you're going to get rid of a manager mid-season, you either have to have somebody already to take the place, and that's slightly dodgy for me, because it means that you're already planning on sacking somebody because you're having talks with somebody else. Almost, it's a bit like cheating on them, isn't it? Because you go in and you're doing these talks behind the back. So I'm not a fan of that. But he should never have been given. You know, the telltale signs were at the end of last season. I know we finished second, and to finish second with the squad that we've got is, you know, it's no mean feat at all, considering where they're at now.
Yeah.
But you could see that there wasn't that progression that you would expect. Yes, we've got consistently higher league finishes. We got to a Europa League final, but it was almost like that was the best it was ever going to be, and it wasn't going to be anything more than that. So I think that they shouldn't have given him, you know, they shouldn't have kept him on at the end of last season. They should have just cut ties and had somebody ready to move in. I don't agree with what Spurs did with their manager, you know, and then they got Conte in. Yeah, fair enough, but it upsets the apple cart, for want of a better word, so much when you do that with teams, because it is unsettling. You've got somebody coming in who the players don't know, the coaching staff don't know, they've not had that time to gel. You need to do that at the end of the season, so you've got all the summer months to actually embed something within the team. You can't expect to do it mid-season. You just can't. And obviously we've had COVID, so in terms of players training together, that's been really difficult to be able to see. I know that Rangnick watched lots of video footage of the players training, because he couldn't watch it all in person. And I know some players were training by themselves because of COVID restrictions and illnesses and stuff like that. And it's not his fault. It's absolutely not his fault. No. But it makes it really difficult. And you've done that in the middle of a season, in the middle of when we still had COVID. They cancelled loads of games over December, and now we're just playing catch up with, you know, the games that we're playing is ridiculous. Monday night, I mean, it's, you know, you used to have football Saturdays and Sundays. It was mainly Saturdays, some on Sundays. You'd have your Champions League, FA Cups or whatever midweeks. We're literally playing every day of the week now. You know, there's no day of the week that isn't, you know, that there isn't a football match. You know, you used to just say it was those days. Now you can play on a Monday. I think they changed the Brighton one from December to a Monday, without any consideration for fans that wouldn't be able to, you know, it was a Saturday game. It should be done to a Saturday again, because fans have planned that. So, you know, you do it on a Monday night, you've got fans travelling from Birmingham, London on a Monday night. It's just not going to work, is it, if they're back at work?
No. I totally agree. I mean, look at our Newcastle game. We got to play Arsenal, right? That's to be shifted from a Saturday to Monday night, 8 o'clock. I got no chance of going to St James's Park from Bristol. No chance whatsoever. No. And I'll tell you what, the guy Baz has got United season tickets, so that's fine. So got trust in this guy. So, and you know what it is, right? It's just so frustrated. Have on a Saturday or Sunday. Forget the Monday night games, right? If you have to have a midweek game on a Wednesday, it's cool. But don't have on a Monday night. It's unfair on the fans. Do you know what I mean? And I feel so for the Arsenal fans got to travel up on a Monday night. So we need to win that game as well. Foxy, big up to Foxy for Colombia. Fernandes doesn't serve the new contract, but it's just the way modern day football is now. I have to agree with that one. And I've got now a question for now. Who do you guys see finishing fourth, top four as much as I want to see United getting it? I can't see it anymore. I don't think Arsenal will get in either, losing 3-0 to Palace last night.
Again, I mean, Arsenal have done really well from where they started at the start of the season. You know, no points. They've really turned it around. I don't think that you can necessarily say that it's off the cards for Arsenal. Yes, okay, they got beat by Palace, but Palace have done really well this season against some of the top clubs. I mean, they managed to. I think they beat City and then they drew with, you know. So they're stealing points from some of those bigger clubs. I mean, they're always going to be a mid-table club anyway because they're not consistent. But I don't think it's fair to say necessarily that Arsenal can't do it. I think it's fair to say that perhaps we might not be able to do it. But, you know, as you know, Ralph said the other day that whilst it's mathematically possible, it's possible. And I kind of got to agree with him. But when you get to a point where you've got to start relying on other teams to slip up, that for me tells me that it's over, because you shouldn't have to be relying on other clubs to slip up just to get your positioning. Because say we finish top four because of that, that's not anything that we've done as a squad. That's actually because the other teams haven't performed very well. So it's almost like it's a bit of a false finish for me, because you weren't challenging, you were just hoping that somebody slipped up, and it should never come to that. You should be able to solidify it, like, you know, City do, Liverpool have done. You know, you should be able to be in a position where you've kind of run away with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. You've got to do it for yourself. And if you do it for yourself and perform each week in, week out, then I think you'd be a great team. But relying on everyone else, it's not great. I mean, if there's Newcastle, then relying on other people to get in the top four, then we've got that by default, not by playing ability sort of thing. So all Newcastle fans would be loving that. But for me, I would see a performance and get there. So, and I don't want to go to Champions League not performing. We get absolutely stuff.
Exactly.
I got Brad as well. Big up to Brad. What do you think on the Rashford situation, Nick? I mean, he's not having a good season at all. He's not performing on the pitch week in, week out. His mind is elsewhere. He's got 1 year left on his contract after this one. And the Marcus Rashford I've seen, when the first time I've seen, is not the same Marcus Rashford I'm watching now.
No, it's not. It's a difficult one with Rashford because I do think that he started out being all about football, you know, when he was really good and he was consistent. And I think it was COVID, if I'm being honest. I think that the lockdown and the fact that he started doing, you know, the free school meals stuff and, you know, all the political stuff has kind of taken his focus away from actually what he's supposed to be doing. He's playing football, and first and foremost, he's a footballer and he plays for Manchester United. So he should actually be playing for Manchester United, and that should be his main focus. And that's why when I say about Ole nurturing them too much, he allowed too much of that to happen. And I know he did come out, I think, at one point and said that, you know, he needs to start focusing on his football. And I think he got slated and had to come out and say that wasn't what he meant, because I think Rashford took that a little bit personally. But I have to agree, you're paid by Manchester United, and actually that should come first. I completely understand that you want to see families fed, you know, and you want to promote food banks, and, you know, you've had calls with Boris Johnson and other politicians. That's great, but when it starts to impact on your football, there has to be some kind of consequences for footballers when they're not performing or they're not doing what they should be doing within the squad. you need to be able to take a step back. And I'm not saying that it's not been fantastic that he's done all those things, but he's getting everybody else to do it. So he's promoting it, but it's everybody else that's donating money. I think he might have donated some money, and I think he's done a book that he might be donating some of the proceeds. But this is a footballer that gets paid in excess of £200,000 a week. Now, I don't earn that in 5 years, and he earns that in 1 week. And I think it's a little bit disrespectful to try and rally everybody else in the country around and say, oh, we need to be doing more, you need to be doing this, we need to be doing that. He could donate a year's salary and live perfectly comfortably, or even half a year's salary, and do enough to feed, or whatever the political agenda is that he's got. He would have enough to do that. But it's about getting everybody else to do it, and for him to take the glory. And actually what it's done is it's impacted massively on his football. I know he was injured, and he was still playing in the Euros, and then he had his operation, and he's recovering from that. And I think when you're not getting game time, that really impacts on your confidence. So then when you do finally come on, you're a little bit stiff, you're not sure how you fit into the team. Completely get it. Which is why you've got to put 100% in when you're training, when you are actually on the pitch. But he doesn't even do that. I mean, he's so slow. I've lost count of the amount of times that he's caught offside. He doesn't track his man back. I mean, you'd look at him and you'd think it was just a kickabout in the park. But we're talking about Manchester United. We're talking about some big games, and he's not giving 100%. I'd rather you gave 100% and fell short than only give 20% and get a worlder, every 10 games, and you're not consistent. I want somebody to put in 100% work ethic, and I honestly believe that if you do that, you can grab talent. You learn. Some of the players that we've had in the past, they've not been absolutely fantastic to start with, but what they've done is they've trained really hard, they've really cemented the place in the team, and they've grown in confidence, and they've grown in footballing ability and football intelligence, and they've gone on to do fantastic things. I think Gary Neville said before he wasn't a player that necessarily had this massive amount of natural talent. He had to work twice as hard as some others to get to where he needed to be. And that's all I want from any squad player. That is all I want, is that 100% work ethic. And I've not seen that in Manchester United for most of the players in every game. I think there's a severe lack of effort. And, fans are going to see them week in, week out. Some fans are spending hundreds of pounds travelling from London, on Monday Night Football. Then they have to travel back. We had one of our She-Devils came from London to the Spurs game and travelled in that morning, watched the game, and then travelled back that night. That was a long bloody day for her. But she made that effort. She made that effort because she's come to see her team. And for them then not to perform it's really, really disappointing. I mean, we won that game, so that was fine, but you get my point. It's an overall, isn't it? It's for everything.
Absolutely. Yeah. Do you know what it is? I totally I agree. Everything what you say, everything you said, you're absolutely right. I mean, I also heard that Rashford, one of the clips on YouTube, basically, right, that he had like a kick around, like a warm up, right? Apparently, he was walking when he was training. He warm up, do drills and that. Apparently, I've heard that he's just walking, didn't care.
Yeah, I honestly think that he's completely lost any football passion that he had. Now, whether that's because of his injuries and his lack of game time, but if you're not performing, you shouldn't be getting game time. So it's as simple as that. So actually, to change that, you've got to start performing and start putting in a bit of effort. But if he's walking when he's in training, that just tells me that he's not bothered. But he's still collected his £200,000+ a week paycheck, and that for me is not acceptable from anybody.
Totally agree. Slap in the face for the fans as well. Having to work all the way. Like, is it Mary? She's Devils.
Yeah.
I tell you what, though, she's fantastic.
She's
Chat to her.
amazing.
You saw us, didn't you? Chat to her about the Man U game, and I told her this has got to be the worst Man United team I've ever witnessed in years and years and years. Do you think I was right, though? Do you think I was right?
Yeah, I absolutely do, and I don't think, and it's not the fact that the players on paper aren't fantastic, because if you look at our squad, there is absolutely no reason why that squad shouldn't be challenging for a league title. No, there's no two ways about it when we've got the squad that we've got. But Mary's absolutely spot on. When she does her analysis of United, I mean, all the She Devils are fantastic. And it's empowering to other girls and women to be able to talk about football that's been predominantly it's been predominantly a male sport, and we still get it now. We still get a lot of stick being females talking about male football, and they always say, "Oh, go and watch the women's game." Well, no, actually, I don't want to watch the women's game. I've been watching the men's game all my life.
Exactly.
I want to watch that, and there's no passion, and it is the worst team I think I've seen. I mean, don't get me wrong. Some of the games under Fergie and Mourinho and Van Gaal were absolutely atrocious. But you always felt, especially under Fergie, that it was just a one-off. It was a bit of a blip, because we'd go back to being fantastic. It was a bit of hit and miss, but you always knew that there was going to be progression. You never really doubted it.
Yeah.
But you don't see that with, we have a good game one day and, everybody's flying high, but it's almost like we know that the next week it's going to be a rubbish game, and we're going to get beat, or we're going to thrash out a 1-1 draw with Leicester. I've had Leicester fans telling me that we were lucky on Saturday. I think we probably were. I think it was not a great game of football at all. I didn't watch it live, but I did record it and watch it afterwards, and it was just, it was so boring. Boring to watch.
I saw clips of it as well, but it wasn't that great. I mean, you should have lost that game, but the VAR saved you foul away. It was a foul before Madison battled ball away. But the thing is, right, I mean, as a fan base, right, I mean, you says how it is as a podcaster, right, with She Devils and Mary. She tells it how it is. She says it like it is, right? It doesn't matter whether your name is Rashford, Bruno, Cristiano, right? It doesn't matter who you are. If you don't perform, right, then you're not scared of calling those players out, right?
Yeah.
It's like with Newcastle fans, right? And I know I've got people in the chat saying the same thing. We got Alan Maximin, right? He's having a great season, right? He's done all right, but he's not having a great season, right? But he's had some very, very poor games, right? I can't lie. And I'll call it out as well if he doesn't perform well. Now, our fan base, and you've seen it on social media, right, saying that we're not allowed to have a go at ASM if he plays poorly. You're not allowed to have a go at Joe Linton or whoever, so if they play poorly. Otherwise, fans will just jump on you. Chris Wood, right, plays for Newcastle. Like we paid 25 million quid for this guy, right? And most of the people say he's done a fantastic job, right? But 25 million for Chris Wood? Really? I watched him, right? And I'll be real, he ain't that good. He ain't good enough for Newcastle United. I can't lie. What do you think of the fans? Do you think the fans should be honest? Our fans should be honest on players' assessment if they don't perform? Do you think players should be calling them out?
It would be with anything, John. If in work you've not performed, your boss will come and say, actually, this wasn't right. This is what you need to do to improve. We're not calling them out for being terrible and awful. What we're doing is we're having an opinion based on that performance. What I don't agree with, and what I definitely will never agree with, is fans booing players before a game. Because I don't think that's on at all. I think that you should be basing it on the game that they've just played, because everybody does have, a blip. I mean, you look at the Maguire situation and fans are booing him. I mean, not quite sure why England fans were booing him, because, he's been playing quite well for England. But you shouldn't be booing a player before a match, because you're going to knock the confidence. What you want to do is you want to boost them at the start of a match. You want to, get behind them, get behind the team, give them that confidence. If you're booing them before the game's even kicked off,
it's wrong.
One, you're going to lack the confidence. And actually, two, you're going to think, oh, well, what's the point of me playing? The fans hate me. Anything that I do now, if I slip up one little bit, I'm going to get booed. It's going to be all my fault. Whereas in a game of football, you do make mistakes. Exactly. I'm not a professional footballer, but, it stands to reason that when you're playing 90 minutes of football, you're going to make mistakes. You can't do everything all the time. You're going to do dodgy passes, or you're going to, head the ball to an opposition player. Because that's just the game. You have to accept that. But you can absolutely criticise those players when they've done something wrong. Because why would you not? You're giving your opinion. And that's all it is. It's an opinion. You're not saying to everybody, right, everybody should hate that player now because they've done X, Y, and Z. Actually, what you're saying is, I don't think that they had a good game. The passing was terrible. Correct. The ball retention was terrible. You can do all of that like you would if you were at the pub watching the football with your mates. That's exactly what you'd be saying. You'd be going, oh my God, I can't believe he's just done that. Or God, that was a terrible cross. You'd be shouting at the TV and you'd be shouting with your mates. All you're doing as a podcaster is you're giving your opinion to a bigger audience, but you're not brainwashing them. You're trying to get that interaction with other fans about your opinion. I don't, a lot of fan cams get a lot of hate, especially the United ones. Yeah. And they're quite controversial, some of them. But actually, it's people's opinions and they're just as valid. What I don't agree with is the hate and the violence that's attached to it. But absolutely give your opinion. Yeah. Sometimes it's not even balanced because it is based on perhaps the fact that Maguire's not had a great season. So you are automatically looking for faults that they've done. But actually, it's just an opinion at the end of the day, and everybody can disagree with me or they can agree with me. It doesn't matter to me. I will have that debate, and we either agree to disagree, or we agree that each person's got valid points, and that's just the way it is.
Absolutely. I mean, my motto is back the team. After that, what you do after that, right? Then it's different kettle of fish, and then you can talk to your miss, say, look, how do you think he played? And just give your honest opinion. It's as simple as that. I'll come down in a bit as well. Do you think Martial will be away in the summer? I'll come back to that thing in a minute as well, by the way. That's a brilliant one. Do you think Martial will be away in the summer, Nick? And Lingard as well?
Yeah, I do. There isn't a place for Martial in the team. Am I still there?
Oh, she's gone. Nick's having problems with the computer in a minute, sort of thing. She'll come straight back. Nick, if you there, then just come straight back if you can, pet. Can we take Fed off views? I'll ask that question in a minute. And I've got some more as well. Can we take Fed off? I'll ask her that in a minute. Hope both well. Absolutely fine. There she is. She's back again. She's back again.
The freeze, John. I'm sorry.
No, sorry, babes. Absolutely fine, young. Absolutely fine. And I was just saying that I'm going to read this comments as well. Evening. Hope you well. Great show. That's from James. Big up to James. I read to Brian. Hope you're canny. And we've got one here from Foxy as well. Newcastle from Colombia. It's okay for fans to criticize players, but it's unfair to fans continuously pick on one player when 10 others have been just as bad or worse. This has been the issue with our fan base towards ASM. I mean, I know about it. Foxy knows about it. Most of the Newcastle fans knows about it, right? And let's be real. I'm not gonna lie, but if they don't perform, then like Nikki says, I will say something about it, simple as that, and have a debate about it. That's not having a go. I love the player, but if they're not doing it right, it has to be toward. As podcasters, like you mentioned, it has to be right. But Newcastle fans are telling us we're not allowed to criticize people, It's not just as others. Like, if we watched the match on Sunday against Tottenham, right? We were absolutely shocking in the second half, I mean, you look at the players we've got, You've got, oh, man, I don't know, man of the match. I thought Ryan Fraser was poor. ASM did try, but didn't do much, The back four was shocking as well. Giving a ball away, which cost the scores, I'm sorry, Dan Burn. I love Dan Burn, but he was shocking on Sunday. Real talk. But Fox had a good point there, and I have to agree with that one as well. Big up to Luca, by the way. It's a big gooner. And what's the bleeding story, John? Bruno isn't all of that. And that is from Del Boy. He's an Arsenal fan. He's a podcaster. He's a great guy. This is the one that told us when I first spoke to him, he thinks that Eddie Howe is not the right man for Newcastle, which I'm going to comment to later on. So he thinks Bruno isn't all of that.
I mean, again, I think he's not had a great season, to be honest. I think during last season, I said that there's two sides to Bruno. There's the fantastic player that really links up well with other players and he's passionate and all the stuff that you want from a footballer. And then there's the other side that if the team aren't performing, that's going to impact on him mentally in terms of his confidence. And I think that's what we've seen with Bruno is that because the squad aren't gelling and they're not performing, that actually you either rise above it and try and be the better player and try and create things, or you kind of slump down to the rest of everybody else's level and think, it's okay to be this way because everybody's like that. So, they're all in it together. Yeah. I think for Bruno, he couldn't keep consistently playing as well as he did when the rest of the team weren't supporting him in that. And I think that's what's happened. I think he's dropped off a little bit because he's not had that support from the rest of the team. I think it's just a byproduct of how in trouble we are as a squad, as a team. We're not gelling, we're not working together. There's lots of leaks from the dressing room, there's lots of disgruntled, people falling out apparently. There's lots of talk, and I just have to say, and I don't want to keep going back to the good old days under Fergie, but there is absolutely no way that Fergie would allow any of this discourse and everything within the team, because Yap Stam started talking out of line. He was gone. Even when Keane wasn't playing ball, Keane was gone. These are some really big pivotal players for us, and Fergie had absolutely no problem getting rid of them when they weren't fitting in with his squad. So I think what was his name? Dion Dublin said that when he came to play for United, and he thought, York, he'd be a great person. He was kind of starting to cement a bit of a friendship with him. And Fergie took him to the one side and said, if you want to play at this club, don't get close to York, because he could already see that York was starting to go off the rails a little bit and actually probably wasn't going to be in the squad for much longer. And I don't think he was. So Fergie had no problem he wasn't there to make friends. He was there to manage the club. And whilst he did make, the players speak very highly of him because he was a nice guy, but he was doing it for his club, for his football team. And the players respected that because they could see that actually that's what he was doing. He wasn't doing it to be awful and mean and nasty. He was doing it because he wanted the best for his club, and to get the best from his players, he needed to behave in a certain way. So, again, I think that we've got a real issue at the moment with management and the board. I mean, it's just rotten from top to bottom, isn't it? There's nothing else I can say. It's rotten from top to bottom.
Get it told, man. Get it told. Speak the truth, man. And could you imagine Brian Clough was here today? I tell you something, Brian Clough would have to love and fifth and breakfast, I'm telling you. Because they wouldn't pull it in this. There's no way. No way.
No, absolutely not. And just going back to the point before about Martial, I don't think he's going to be here. I don't think he's going to be here in the summer. He's not got a place in the team. He doesn't want to be here particularly. It's going to be difficult because I don't think anybody's going to pay his wages unless Newcastle want him to pay his wages. But, you can take him if you want. I don't think that there's anybody that really wants to take him for those. So we might. I mean, it's going to be really difficult. And again, I think Lingard, I don't see him particularly having a place in the team. He goes on social media about bloody West Ham and stuff, and it's like, again, Fergie would never have had anything like that. He'd have probably got the hairdryer treatment and a boot smacked in his face and all sorts. If that was happening, it wouldn't happen under Fergie's watch. We need a little bit of that ruthlessness, but also a little bit of the like when he's, when Cantona did his kung fu kick, and he got him in the head grip, and he spoke to him. He understood why he did it. He still had his, he shouldn't have done it, but actually could understand, so he was able to level with him on a one-to-one basis, and that's what he did so well. And we need a little bit of that, but not the Mourinho style of just being completely. That's a bit too much.
Absolutely, man. That time they didn't want to lose Cantona because Cantona was that good. Because I tell you what, they would have won the league. They would have won the league had it not been banned to the end of the season. Blackburn Rovers would not have won that league. No. United would have won that league by 10 points that year. I'm telling you. But because of that Cantona and missing chances that Andy Cole's done, wow. Fred's inconsistent and overrated rather have Fernandes and Cavani. Cavani's missed so many. He missed a season's worth in 2 years. I'll follow this guy's career at Napoli. This guy was absolutely world class. 77 goals, 108 appearances for the Patena Pai, the Glida Suri, which is like Blues Italian, right? This guy, absolutely fantastic. And PSG, absolutely fantastic. Comes to United, right? As much as I love him, I think he's taking the wholesale mick. Again, it goes to Uruguay when he's out injured, right? Why can you not do it here?
Right, let me tell you the issue that I think we've got, John, and it's only my opinion. You feel free to.
I could be wrong. Go on.
Yeah, I think that. So last season he was great for us. He really performed. He banged in some great goals. Everybody loved him.
Yeah.
The start of this season, he was all right. We got Ronaldo in, and that's where it went downhill. And I'm sorry, but that is what happened. So Ronaldo got the number 7 shirt. And I'm not saying that Cavani had an issue with that, because I don't think he's bothered about numbers. He's bothered about playing football. So I don't think that was necessarily an issue. I think the issue was that Ronaldo started getting all the game time and Cavani didn't. Now, when you're a player that is that age, because they're both aging.
Yeah.
Now, Ronaldo's a different beast for me, because he consistently trains and he's in the gym all the time, and he really takes that next step of training, first at the training ground, last out, a bit like Eric Cantona. But physically, I don't think Cavani's quite in that position. But what Cavani brings is 100% effort, and I've seen him when the ball's going out and Ronaldo's left it, he's ran right to the line and saved it from going out for a goal kick and kept that ball in play, because it's not out of play until it's out of play. And but I think the problem is that because he's not getting that consistent game time, you can't expect a man of his age to run consistently for 15 minutes at that pace and not get injured. And people say, oh, well, Ronaldo does that. Ronaldo does not run at the same pace as Cavani. He never has. He's never been that kind of player that, maybe in his early days he did run a bit more, but he's more of a poacher. He likes to be in the right position and Cavani's good at being in that right position, but he'll also work for that ball as well.
Yeah. I'm a big Cavani fan.
Yeah, I think that it's come at the wrong time for Cavani, because actually he didn't particularly want to sign a new contract. Obviously, Ollie might have done his sweet talking and got him to sign that 1-year deal. He wanted to go back to his family. And so he did. He signed the contract. But for me, I think he signed that contract thinking that he was going to be the number 1 striker. And actually what's happened is when Ronaldo's come in, it's usurped that plan. And actually there hasn't been a role for Cavani. And I think, again, that starts the whole of, oh, well, I'm not getting any game time. He's consistently injured because he's not getting enough game time to keep his muscles supple. He is older, but that's what you get when you get older players. That's just something that you have to do. And you can't have an older player and not give them consistent game time, because they will get injured much easier, especially a player like Cavani that, puts in 100% when he's playing. And for him, Uruguay is his home. That, it's a pride thing when you're playing for your country. So I can kind of see why he goes and plays for Uruguay and he doesn't come and play for us. That said, it's not good enough for me. He needs to go. If he's not putting in the effort, doesn't matter how much I love him, he has to go if he's not willing to put in the effort. So I can love a player as much as possible, but at the end of the day, if they're not performing for my team and my team isn't doing well and they're hindering that, then they've got to go. You know, I want to be the best team, the biggest team in the world. I want to be winning stuff. So
well said. And you know what it is, right? I mean, I'll take Cavani for one season at Newcastle United. I'd take him all day long. Just like one season.
I bet you would, John. I bet you would.
Is that going to happen anytime soon? I probably don't think so, because I don't think we're going to pay it away. It's a shame, because I think he would have done it, proved the point. Do you know what I mean? I love Cavani. I think I'm a massive Cavani fan, and I enjoy watching this guy. Whether you're a United fan or not, I enjoy watching this kid. The fans will always be more disappointed when the star player is underperforming. That's true. Fred overrated. He's literally the scapegoat for everything that goes wrong for United. It's complete opposite. Best player on the pitch for Brazil regularly. And I tell you what, Fred, in my opinion, I think he's improved a lot.
He has. And it's telling, because actually for Brazil, he plays a much more forward position than he does for United. And that's why he plays consistently well for Brazil. So I think a lot of some of the underperforming of the team is actually because they're not played in the right positions. They're played in positions that perhaps they're not necessarily used to, or it's not their best position. And that's probably because we haven't got a depth of squad at the moment. We just haven't got that. So we're having to play players that perhaps aren't playing in the best position. But what I will say is, I really like Fred. I think, again, Fred's one of those players that he does put in the effort. He's just not very good sometimes. And again, I'd rather have a player that puts in 100% and falls short than a player that, you've got the likes of Pogba. He doesn't put in effort, consistently enough for me. Considering he's so tall and he's a big lad, he gets bullied off those balls really, really easily. Whereas Fred, he might get bullied off balls, but Fred's only little. He's probably about the size of me, so you can kind of understand it, but he will give more of a shot at keeping those balls than Pogba will. Pogba will quite happily fall over straight away. So again, I like Fred. I think he's much improved this season. He's been one of our best performing players, especially under Ralph. Again, I think him and McTominay have played better under Ralph than they did under Ollie, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, though, this is going to be a shock to a lot of people. There's something in McTominay which is going to make him a fantastic player in the years
I
to come.
love McTominay, John. I'm so glad you said that.
He is going to be.
He is. He's absolutely. I really see him being captain.
Yeah.
Again, I get a lot of stick on Twitter, and I get a lot of stick from the She Devils for McTominay. Because there is a bit of unrest there in terms of opinions. But actually, that's what's so great about it, is the fact that you can have those opinions.
Absolutely.
But we see players very differently, and he's got that passion that, and Mary always shouts at me for this when I say that he's got the passion that Keane had when he played for United, that let's just go in and break a leg, let's just go in and do it. And Mary always says, you can't compare him to Keane. Keane's after, and he is, and I'm not comparing him to Keane, but I see a little bit of that passion and aggression. You look at his stats, and he's got, so many yellow cards. But that's what I want from my midfielder. I want him to be able to go in and challenge. And the Leeds game, he posted on, I think it was Instagram or wherever, his ankle was absolutely tore to shreds. Because he'd put in so much effort, so many tackles. We won't talk about whether they were dirty or not. At the end of the day, they were tackles. But actually, he said on his Instagram post that was a proper game of football. That for me is, it's fantastic. I love him. Absolutely love him.
I tell you what, I'd take Tomlin at Newcastle. A lot of people
You're
may
not
not.
having him, John. You're not having him, John.
I'd take him. I'd take that guy all day long. I tell you, all day long, I'd take him. Money talks. David Shanklin, do you know David? I mean, Do you know the guy,
yeah.
David Jekyll?
I do, yeah.
Do subscribe to my channel, David, if you can, mate. Just click on the subscribe button, my guy. I'm on every Tuesday. Come John Maisy show on the Tuesday. I think Bruno is a high risk, high reward player. Not looking up anywhere near as much as he should. There is a time and a place for the Hollywood passes. Also, agree on the discipline, though. Pogba got fired off as a kid and would never have seen out these last 6 seasons. And for me, that was a mark. That's I won't say marquee signing, but how do I pull it? It's just like just to sell merchandise. I just signed shirts and that. 100% agree. Berger had high standards and made sure everyone who stepped out wearing the shirt knew that and respected the badge. The tough love needs towards some players isn't given as much nowadays. That's when Brad. I personally would make everyone we have in this country not find off to the 4 corners. That's from David. Fox said Cavani's been messed up by the club. He's just waiting to the end of the season to join a club that actually values him, and that club is Boca Juniors.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. I do think he's been messed about. Again, I think that he's been being paid by Manchester United, and he should absolutely be available to play for Manchester United. But it's nothing's ever black and white, is it? There's always a grey bit to it, and I think that he's been messed about. And do you know what? I think if I was probably messed about by my employers, I'd probably, I might, you see it these days actually in the real world, John. People go off sick because they're not happy at work, or, they've been told off for something, or the manager thinks that they're underperforming and they go off with stress and anxiety and depression and all those other things. I don't think it's any different for footballers. Again, we always say that they get paid a lot of money, and they absolutely do, but they're still a human being at the end of the day. They've still got emotions and feelings, and you don't switch that off just because, actually I'm earning £250,000 a week, so I don't have any emotions. You can't do that. So you've kind of got to accept a little bit of that within it. But I think footballers these days are way too mollycoddled. You need a little bit of the carrot and the stick, I think, and I don't think that they get.
No, I have to agree 110% there, because working now, people work 12 hours a day, 13 hours a day. Look at the price has gone up, sort of thing. Like, the cost of living's gone up every single time. And the gas electric as well, I think it's a disgrace. They don't need the money. And the reason they're doing that is because they want to get that money back from COVID a couple of years ago. So the twins in debt, they want that money back. But I tell you what, I can see people going to retire to saying, you know what, I ain't going to work again. So I can't blame them. And also, they want to move away from this country, go and emigrate, sort of thing, like warmer climates. Do you know what? In a couple of years' time, I might just do that. Either go to Italy.
Take me with you, John. Take me with you.
Yeah, but you got a partner, you.
Well, I've got kids as well, but still take me. I need warmer climates.
Oh no. Take your partner as well. So your partner coming. Is he a red as well? Is your partner a red? Or?
He is a red, yeah.
We'll take him as well. Taking a turkey, that'll do.
Yeah,
love taking turkey. Like, I could be a full-time podcast over there, can I? League Gunner style.
Yeah. Beach in the daytime, podcasting at night. Sounds like a dream, John.
Exactly. Do it on the beach, sort of thing, like 8 o'clock on the night. I still get some fans there on the beach in the background. You never know. No. Big up to David, my guy. Again, never, ever, ever will McCavish. He's on about McTominay, right? Skip at the club. Passions now without the requirement quality. So he doesn't think he's going to captain the team. So looks at Man City's winning by a goal and nil against Atletico Madrid. Thanks, Luca, for that. Nick, Bob on weird to mollycoddled.
Yeah, love that word, mollycoddled. It's a great word.
Yeah, it is.
Style.
Oh, bless you. We all love mollycoddle sort of thing, but you as well. If you have to work and your boss won't let you have a lunch break, you're going to want to get paid still, and also tell the boss to go and do one. You know what it is, right? It happened to us before, right? I came up with first on deliveries. I came back. I said, look, I have no lunch. Do you know what? I'll make sure that I'm going to get paid. Do you know what I mean? It's as simple as that. If you don't get paid, I'll just say, you know what? I'll just come in late or go home early. I tend to go in early, to be fair. I'm coming too. Yes, and Brian, yes, you're welcome to, my guy. City winning. Cavani's twin, Darwin, with a goal for Benfica. So he's got a goal back. So it's Benfica 1, Liverpool 2. I'd take Darwin Núñez all day long to Newcastle. Or Fito Osimhen as well.
You'll take everyone, John. You're just coaching everyone now.
I tell you, I would. I mean, I want to get quality in the team. Quality. But before I'm going to talk about Newcastle the takeover, right? Actually, I'm going to talk about quickly on the takeover. When we got taken over, as a United fan, back in October, right? As a United fan, how did you feel that Newcastle United finally had a takeover for your view?
Do you want my honest opinion, John?
Yeah, go for it.
I mean, for me, I'm not happy about the ownership of the club. I've never been happy about the ownership of City either. I think that, again, I've never really been happy about the ownership of Chelsea. I think for me, yeah, and I don't mean this any disrespect at all, John.
No,
but
go on.
I think you kind of sell your soul to the devil a little bit when you've got that. I don't know. I don't want to say it in a nasty way, but actually you've got quite a lot of human rights violations, and you've got women's rights aren't great. And I think that when you put all that together, is that really somebody who you want to be in bed with? You know, I'd rather. I mean, people were saying, "Oh, you know, let somebody else take over from the Glaziers." Who the only people that could possibly afford to buy it is the Saudis. You know, with that oil money. I don't want that. I would take the Glaziers any day of the week. And actually,
fair enough.
I think that the fans, so that they're talking about the fan share ownership, that's probably the only legitimate way that I can see it happening, because I know a lot of fans say, oh, we want the Glazers out so much that we'll take anybody. But I think when push comes to shove and they start to analyse their moral code, maybe, I think that they perhaps would think very differently. I think it's because it's not really an option that they say that, if I'm being honest. But you know what? You go for it. If you're going to get investment and you might start challenging for stuff. I can see why your fans were happy. I don't know whether they were all completely happy, but I can see why you'd be happy with that level of investment, because look what it's done for City. You know, it's catapulted them. You know, Pep's done a fantastic job, but he's had the resources. But Pep actually knows the players to buy. He doesn't buy massive name players for, hundreds of millions, except for, Grealish. But I don't think that necessarily was his decision, because he don't really fit in the squad. Pep knows he picks players and he knows how to work them into the team. I'm not sure why Grealish came along. I think, again, that was the Euros and the good time that he had for England. And I think that Pep was under a little bit of pressure to sign somebody. So let's pick somebody who could fit in with the squad. But do you know what? If this brings a level of investment for you, for your team, and actually gets you challenging, then I can see why you'd be happy with it. I can absolutely see that. So, fair play to you if you're going to start challenging and start stealing players from us that we perhaps could get, because you can offer them more. I don't know where your FIFA fair play is in this though, John. You'd have to look at your your money that you get coming in. But the same thing happened with City, and they managed to wrangle it. So
we could spend up to 500 million. We could spend what we want, and it doesn't come to effect until 2025. The reason is we haven't got over our means when it actually is as owner. And the bottom line is they can come in now and spend $500 million, right, and still don't get punched for it at all. So if we spend 500 million in the summer, we'll not get penalised until 2025. So,
which hopefully you'll have made more money by then, so it won't matter, John, because you'll have won something.
Yay! Get in there. I want to see Newcastle and United challenging for the title, the top two. Challenge for the title, and that would be fantastic. Those two up there.
Anything is possible, John. Anything is possible.
Exactly. If you came to the last game, right, say Newcastle were top, United were second, right, and it happened at Old Trafford, right, I'm sure, and Newcastle won in the 95th minute to win the title, I know you'd be disappointed, but would you be pleased with Newcastle winning the league for the first time since 1927?
No, John, I'll never be happy for anybody winning the league. I'll be happy for you as a person because I like you, but I don't accept anybody winning the league above United, especially not at bloody Old Trafford. You must be out of your mind, John. Out of your mind. I'll be like telling you to sling your hook. It's your fault.
Wow. We were the best team winner that day. We haven't won since 2013 when young Cabaye got that goal to actually win the game. It was 2 goals up against Yees under Rafa Benitez, who scored 2 in the first 8 minutes to lose by 3 goals to 2. I knew United would score because Jose made a double sub in the 20th minute. And I tell you what, that turned the flipping game. But I was disappointed there, that game. We should have won that game. Very disappointed. That's another day. The wraps up very quickly because I know you've got things to do. Thoughts on Varane. I've been slightly disappointed. If you just give marks out of 10 for Rafa and Varane, how many marks out of 10 would you give him? Because this is not the Real Madrid. It was Real Madrid. He's a 9.
Yeah. It's a difficult one because, Champions League Varane and you have these high hopes. I don't think it's been helped by the fact that he's been paired with Maguire. And he's doing a lot of covering for Maguire because Maguire is so slow. I think Varane plays his best when he plays with Lindelof. So I'd like to see a little bit more Lindelof Varane because actually I've been impressed with them two when they're playing together. So again, I don't necessarily like to pin it all on Varane because it's who he's paired with, and actually some of that stuff is not really his fault. But for me, he's been really average. I'd probably just give him a 5 out of 10 because I don't think he's been extra special, but I don't think he's been terrible. I think some of it's just the pairing and the decision making. Yeah.
That's fair enough. I just think he's been unlucky this season. Injuries hasn't helped him at all. That's number one. Number two, he's much, 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 much better than that. And, but next season, if he's there, and I hope he's there next season, I think he'd be better under whoever's going to be a new manager. I mean, Ten Hag or Pochettino. We're coming to Manchester side in a bit before we wrap up. Go back to Foxy as well. John wanted Benteke also. Yeah, whatever. Benteke. I tell you what, he is better than Chris Wood, by the way. I can't lie. But I don't know about Grealish for England, but Man City could do better. I'm big up to Brad as well. Great show, John and Nick. Thank you so much, my guy. And I'll do the watch along tomorrow. And just a few more questions. Number one, who's your choice of manager? Who would you take as manager?
Oh, this is a difficult one. Everybody wants Ten Hag. I've kind of got a little soft spot for Poch. I think he's proven I say proven, he's not actually won anything in the Premier League, but he can play at that level. Yeah. He's at PSG now, he's managing some really big egos, the top of the league at the moment. I think the 12 points clear, which you would expect when they've got the likes of Mbappe in the squad. But I don't know. It's a really difficult one for me. I really struggle when you're getting big names because again, when we got Fergie, yes, okay, he'd turned the side around, and we'd got him on the back of a great season. But he wasn't a big name. He wasn't somebody that came in that everybody thought, oh, he's been absolutely, he's been an outstanding manager. It's just because he'd done so well with a substandard team. Yeah. But actually he came in and, he had really inconsistent seasons. He finished second one, 13th the next. So it was very hit and miss for at least 3 or 4 years. For me, it doesn't matter who we get in. We need to give them at least 2 or 3 years. That's just the fact of the matter. It needs to be at the start of the season, start of the summer, so that they can actually embed a bit of their tactics and coaching and all that within the squad. Personally, I don't think it matters who we get. I know people want Ten Hag because he's at Ajax, but then there are people that want Poch because he's at PSG and he's proven in the Premier League in that he can play at that level. Yeah. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me because, again, it's not just about the manager. It's about the coaching staff. It's about the director of football. It's about the board. It's about the players. So, I'm probably erring a little bit on the Poch side just because I've got a bit of a soft spot for him.
Oh, bless you. You got a soft spot for everyone, haven't you? You, McTominay, and myself, and bless you. So you go for Pochettino then. Yeah, do you ever comes in? He's got a difficult job with the hand, sort of thing for myself, but he'll be good luck to you. I hope that manager turns your fortunes around ASAP. And Maguire's not having a fit for annual season. Next to him really hasn't helped his form. That could be a possibility there. As Foxy, sad to hear about LVG. Hope he recovers from cancer. I hope he does as well. And I'm so sorry to hear about LVG. I hope he gets better soon. I really do. Just prostatic cancer. And I hope the ex-Man United manager gets better very, 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 very soon. So I was going to say you're going to wrap up there because I know you've got things to do. And been for an hour and 10 minutes there. And I always want to get you on. Did you enjoy coming on my show? Did you enjoy it today?
I've loved it, John. I've loved it. It's been great to finally have a chat with you and to interact with the fans in the chat as well. It's been great. Yeah, loved it.
Fantastic. You know what it is, right? I mean, like I thought, like I said earlier, I thought I've got to get you on because I think I think you're going to be amazing. And for me, I could give you a 10 out of 10 alongside with Maisy.
Thank you.
Because I don't know if you watch me and Maisy's channel on a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
She's so passionate, isn't she? She's so passionate.
She is. She's lovely. And she's got so much football intelligence. It's just great to listen to. She
is. She does the Lasses channel as well, women's football as well. She gets the guests on as well, which I think is great. She does the quiz as well, which I think I need to do start doing the quiz as well, which I love to do. And also do other watch-alongs as well, which I'm doing tomorrow night between Burnley and Everton. That'd be the massive game for both sides, especially for Everton. Thursday, they're going to do the pre-match preview on Thursday. What time that's going to be, I don't know. Maybe it's at 7 o'clock. I'll be doing that. I'm not going to worry about the press conference reaction that much, which I normally do. And I might put it in one Friday, then watch along. Saturday, the match reaction, and try and get someone to call me channel to talk about all things NUFC. So, when do you find on your socials, Nick?
When do what, sorry?
Find you. Where do you find you? Where does people find you on socials?
Nick J_B United. And please be nice. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, but if you're rude, then I'm just going to have to block you because I don't take rude people, John. You know me, don't you?
I do. I'll get a lot of stick as well. Don't worry about that because at the end of the day, I just have my opinion. I just say how like it is. And if they don't like it, tough. I used to be, okay, I need to go dread on sort of thing. But now it comes to an end sort of thing. People need to respect us just a little bit more, right? Yeah. Let's be real. Number one. Number two, right? I mean, I had someone told us to F off the other day. After the Everton game, and I just what I could have done, I could have quote tweeted that and said, "This is why there's people like this one gives our fan base a bad name." I know I would have blocked her anyway, but at the end of the day, I'm sorry, but whether you like it or not, if you don't agree with their opinions, just move on.
Yeah, you don't have. That's the whole point of their opinions, isn't it? Is that they're not for everybody. And as long as you keep it respectful and give you reasons why that's your opinion, then people need to accept that. At the end of the day, we're not all going to agree. It'd be pretty boring if we all agreed with everybody, wouldn't it? It'd be like, oh, yeah, I agree with that. Okay. And then there's nothing to talk about. So, it is about those shared conversations and, bouncing different reasons and rationale off each other because actually some people can change my mind. If you give me a rational reason why you like Rashford, for example, you think he's going to be a great player, then I'll sit and listen and I'll give you my side. And, we can agree to disagree or we can agree that actually, you've made some pretty good points. But, I still don't think, that's just my opinion. That's not anything against particular people. That's just your opinion.
Well said.
Don't let anybody say anything nasty to you, John. Put them on to me and I'll sort them out.
Definitely. You got me back as well. You could be me mod as well, sort of thing. When you watch me channel, you could be me mod as well. And what I'll do, just leave a comment underneath as well as social media. And, and I'll get you on me mods as well because I need some mods as well. I've got Niall, I've got Maisy, I've got Tony Bainbridge as well. Well, we call him Tony the Red because Maisy calls him Tony the Red. He's a Toon fan, but he keeps calling her Maisy the Mag. So Maisy calls him
Yeah.
Tony the Red. So,
Yeah.
and that's how it is, sort of thing. And you think I'm honorary red, and people think I'm a red. You know, we had the guy called Paul tonight, Tomb of You, great guy, just hit 10K on social media, on his YouTube. Big up to Paul, by the way. Congrats to him getting 10K on his YouTube, and big up to him. He said Sinclair is a red tonight.
No, you've just got love for us, John. That's all it is.
It is,
that's all.
Soft spot for you, lasses, sort of. And even Bazza, it's got his own channel. Bazza comes saying, hello, ladies. And we just say, there he is.
Yeah.
From Flossie, Gillian, Hughes, Kim. Well, Kim's the best friend on Twitter. Kim, like, you know, all this red lady. She's the best mate sort of thing. And you're my favourite man, Keenan, anyway, but there you go.
Yeah.
So go on. Listen, don't go away. We'll do backstage, right? But guys, if you do like the video, like what you see, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well. Please, if you'd like to donate a super chatters, then please click on the just give what you can. It goes to good causes. And if you'd love to be a member on my channel, it's only 99p. Just click on the join button, and then your name will be in the hat. I've got 44 members at the moment in time. I want to get 100, and until I get 100, I can't run a competition. So I have to get 100 members before I can run a competition. So I need 56 more. Do that, and then you'd be in the hat for winning like tickets and shirts and God knows what, and all the goodies as well. So guys, thanks for watching anyway. Don't go in, Nick. Speak to you in a minute. Okay. And guys, and have a fantastic evening, guys. I shall see you tomorrow for the watch along between Burnley and Everton. I should be there. I think it'll be either 7:15. So keep your eyes peeled for that, peeps. And I shall see you guys tomorrow. Take care.
Bye.
Ta-ra.